Hello and welcome to another video from our Safety Training in Canada playlist. If you're unfamiliar with our content and are a first-time watcher, my name is Andre. I work for a company called eSafety First Canada. Our company is a leading solution in the safety training industry with more than 25,000 companies working with us at the point I'm recording this video. In this playlist, we delve into various safety training topics to answer the most frequent questions surrounding that topic. As always, we'll start with a structure, but if you're interested only in a specific topic, you can freely use our timestamp and navigate towards your answer. As a side note, please note that all the information mentioned here pertains to Canadian legislation and will not apply to other countries. Also, legislation updates frequently, so some parts of the content may change over time. In today's video, we'll be discussing fall protection training in Canada, addressing its definition, significance, equipment diversity, legislative aspects, and standards. We'll then discuss training and certification, as well as the difference between the Working at Heights program and the Fall Protection program. Let's get to work. Certain jobs and work environments may present a risk of injury to employees working at heights. Falls are the #1 cause of critical injuries and deaths of coworkers on construction sites. Developing and implementing comprehensive fall protection programs in the workplace can prevent many injuries and fatalities. Fall protection can be defined as any system designed to prevent a worker from falling or, in the event they do fall, to stop them without causing severe injury. Examples of such systems include guardrails and travel restraint systems. Moving along to our next topic, we'll now be discussing the Fall Protection Plan. Fall protection plans outline the policy and procedures involved in assembling, maintaining, inspecting, using, and dismantling equipment such as ladders, scaffolds, or platforms used for working at heights, as well as any fall protection equipment. Fall protection plans include the following: fall hazard assessment and control measures, fall protection systems, fall clearance, inspection, maintenance, and rescue procedures. Now, as you can see on your screen, this section has a lot of information to unpack, so just like with all our videos in this safety training playlist, feel free to check out the full article linked in the blog description for more information on this topic. Up next, let's discuss the federal and provincial legislation governing fall protection in Canada. Occupational health and safety laws generally require action when a worker has the potential to fall about 3 meters, 10 feet. The complete details on fall protection requirements can be found in Section 12.06 of the Canadian Occupational Health and Safety Regulations. The Canadian Standards Association, CSA, has played a crucial role in enhancing safety measures within the workplace, particularly when it comes to fall protection. With a commitment to ensuring the well-being of workers across various industries, CSA has diligently developed a comprehensive set of standards dedicated to fall protection. In addition to federal legislation, each province and territory in Canada has its own occupational health and safety legislation, which may differ from federal legislation and can include additional requirements. Additionally, there are various standards concerning fall protection equipment that may be accepted in Canadian workplaces. Just as in the previous sections, if you need more information on this section, feel free to check the full article linked in our video description. Our next point of interest is fall protection training in Canada. Workers using a fall protection system must receive instruction and training and be knowledgeable of fall protection requirements as per the Occupational Health and Safety Regulation, which includes, but is not limited to, the recognition of fall hazards, selection of fall protection systems, safe use and limitations of personal fall protection equipment, inspection requirements, and rescue procedures. Across Canada, it falls upon the employer to ensure a safe work environment for their employees. As such, the former is responsible for the implementation of any safety training that might be required. The fall protection certification is a legal requirement for workers who must conduct their activities at heights that exceed 3 meters, 10 feet. Moving forward, we arrive at the most frequently asked question: can you do fall protection training online? To answer this question, we need to explain some basics first. As a general rule of thumb, any equipment-related training has 2 parts that need to be completed. 1. Theoretical training and evaluation. And 2. Workplace-specific hands-on practical training. Online courses will typically cover only the theoretical training and evaluation, which is why, if you wish to opt for online training, the approach to do it is with a blended training solution. Simply put, blended training is an alternative approach combining online theoretical training with on-site practical training. For example, in the case of eSafety First solutions, you go through the online training, you complete the testing and get a certificate for that part, and at the end of the course, you'll find various resources, but most importantly, the operator evaluation checklist. This is a template you must complete within your workplace, with the equipment specific to your job and under the supervision of a competent person. For example, the employer or the workplace supervisor. This blended training method also has some limitations. Blended training is recommended for those with access to the required equipment or who have a competent person to oversee the completion of the workplace-specific checklist. This is why this training method wouldn't work for contractors, for example, because you can't go through the program and evaluate yourself for the hands-on practical portion. So, going back to the question, yes, you can complete the program online, but not 100% online, and it can only be applied to some individuals. Suppose you're applying for a job, and the employer requires you to have this certificate up front. In that case, you can complete the theoretical training and evaluation online, but make sure that the employer can accommodate the workplace-specific hands-on training once you're employed. Please note, any company or organization claiming to provide full certification solely through online training without the hands-on component is likely operating a scam. Now that we've discussed the training options for fall protection, let's discuss the similarities and differences between this program and working at heights. Since this information is substantiated by many regulations and acts and would become a boring topic for someone not particularly interested in such topics, I'm going to try to simplify this information, but just as in the previous sections, you can read the full article linked in our video description for the full context surrounding this topic. To summarize this frequently asked question, both fall protection and working at heights are based on the same standard of training issued by the Canadian Standards Association. So, in that regard, they must follow the same content and training requirements. However, remember how in the previous section we discussed various training options that are available to you? Well, in some circumstances, you no longer have the option to choose between various training options. Individuals working in Ontario, in the construction industry, or as contractors, as well as those working in the province of Newfoundland, must complete the program Working at Heights, which is a classroom training program. So, if your job involves working in any of those provinces and, respectively, those industries, you cannot opt for blended fall protection training. You have to specifically opt for the classroom version called Working at Heights. Finally, in this video, how long is the fall protection certificate valid for? In most provinces, fall protection training expires 3 years after completion. However, some companies may require recertification more frequently. It is important to note that fall arrest training is not a one-time event. It must be updated regularly to reflect changes in equipment or workplace hazards, and to ensure that workers are up to date on the latest safety procedures and regulations. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully, I was able to answer some questions for our viewers today. Feel free to use the comment section if you have more questions about this topic. And, as mentioned, you'll find links in our video description to the written article, which is more in-depth than the video content. If you're interested in our safety training solutions, you can freely visit esafetyfirst.com and read more about what we do. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that way you have it bookmarked on your YouTube account and you can quickly return to it in case you need information on this topic or other topics, or to be informed about updates to our videos or legislation changes.